Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this fast because honestly, the storage thing is just really, really bugging me. Long story short, I need to move some stuff off my phone, but I need to move stuff off my computer to move stuff off my phone, and so I'm using my child's again because I got like 7.5 minutes into this video and then it shut off because I was out of space. So we're going to make this quick and hopefully I don't forget what I said last time. Um, but I do want to say that you should be able to watch the tea video before this because I want it to go first. But if you watch that video and you saw me up in this section and I was like, oh, there's a bag. So it is a baggie of loose tea. And apparently my child reminded me that I like broke the bag, dumped it everywhere. So it's just living in there up with its friends. This video, oh wait, let me tell you this. I also found this up there. I don't know what it is, so afterwards I'm going to open it. It feels like tea. So we might have a surprise in there. That's intriguing. So the, I guess word of the day is clean out a cabinet. You find cool stuff. Okay. So I'm going to show you how, not really how, but like what I use to brew different teas and what I do and all the cool gadgets that I have. And then I'm going to talk to you about some sweeteners. So obviously this is the tea that I still have. It is going in the microwave because it is cold. It's going to get a little bit of sugar, but it tastes delicious. It did steep for a long time and it's not bitter, but it's probably not going to stay that way long. Anyway, so I need to wash this out now because this is a diffuser that goes in this teapot. This is my favorite teapot. The lid got broken, and when it did, my child was afraid to keep this. She accidentally had broken the lid. I've had this for about 25 years, and it was sad, but it is my favorite pot. It probably shouldn't be used on the stove because this is a gas stove, and you can see that it does have some damage to it, but it doesn't hurt its ability to do its job. So, remember, don't boil, even though everything tells you to boil. Please don't boil your tea. Get it hot enough to drink because even if you put it to boiling, you can't drink that. And you don't want to mess with your tea. It's not supposed to be boiling, okay? So let me show you, because I got all of this stuff. And we got bread and where I just threw all that stuff. So we use a Berkey water filter. It took me a year because I had cleaned it. Scrubbed it, just scrubbed it. And then I saw somebody's review of it and realized I needed to use steel wool on the filters. And I was really scared to do that, but they actually are very, very, very sturdy. So we did that. And now we have wonderful water. It tastes delicious. This I think is only like the gallon-ish. This might be the travel version. I believe there's a smaller version, but this is really the small family version. We use it a lot. Sometimes we're filling it 2-3 times a day, and right now it needs filled. Okay, so basically I only do water in this. I fill it with my Berkey in the morning. We have that little measuring cup that you saw. We use that for our Yetis and stuff that don't fit. We just fill it up and then fill whatever we're doing. We use it on our diffuser. But every morning I put this little teapot under there, ask the kid if she wants tea, and then I decide I use this little decoration on the side to decide how much water I'm putting in it. But that was just used to make this. The diffuser, like I said, that's all it is. You put your tea in there. So what I would do with this diffuser is I would bring this water to hot, leave enough. If you're making a big pot, you don't want to be putting it in here and it overflowing. So make sure that you account for that. You do have to use a little bit more water if you're using this. Just make sure it gets above these little openings so that your tea is actually going to diffuse. And you do want it to be like up to the level of the tea. Usually tea is one of those teaspoons. I'll show it to you again. Per 8 ounces. I don't do it that way. I just do per cup. It doesn't matter what size cup I'm using. Usually I only use enough for one unless it's a huge, huge, huge cup. But that's how I gauge it. But then you would put this in there after you take it off the heat and just let it sit. Okay? And that's why some people say boil because it's going to cool down, but you can't drink this until it gets to about 130, 140 degrees. So don't go boiling the heck out of it because it messes with your tea and it messes with your burns on your tongue and it's just not worth it. So Anyway, that is definitely my most favorite teapot I've ever had. I've had metal ones that whistled and they rusted and what have you. So this is my go-to. I've had it for like 25 years. Okay. Iced tea. Iced tea needs to be either like a black tea, Lipton tea, the specially formulated iced teas. This is not for fancy teas. Okay, you could probably do a peach. You could do regular teas in here, but do not get fancy in these because most of those really fancy teas, they're not meant to be drank cold and they're not meant to go into a pot like this. Okay, obviously it's made by Mr. Coffee. This is my second one. I used the first one so much that I literally burnt it up. It comes with this big pot. Fill it with water. It shows you your water. You fill it up in here, just like a coffee pot. This one needs a little bit of a scrub. Looks like the kiddo was the last one to use it because it has stuff everywhere, and I don't usually leave it that way. I can, I'm human. And then you fill with ice. We actually put a little bit of sugar in there so that it has time to dissolve, and then we stir it in afterwards. Then you put it on this side for when it's percolating, and that side if you don't want ice. It's literally that simple. It makes 3 quarts. It makes a lot of tea. We use it a lot in the summer. Sometimes we use it in the winter. We're in Texas, so we're not excessively cold here. Sometimes we'll use it every day for 3 months, and then we won't use it again for 6 months. So it is what it is. It's a good investment. These are usually pretty cheap. I showed this. This is a French press. People use it for coffee. The downfall is this is glass. Okay. I do have a pretty one from Disney that a friend brought me, and it still has its wrappers and everything. I just cannot even bring myself. And she's like, no, I brought it for you to use it. Yeah, I'd rather look at it because I'm so afraid to break it. Anyway, this is made for coffee. We got this at IKEA because it was cheaper. On Amazon, there's some beautiful ones. I'm not even going to kid you. Go look if you want a fancy one. It's amazing. So all you do is pull this up. The only thing that kind of sticks in there is this piece, and that's just because it's going to want to keep all of your tea in the bottom or coffee, whatever you have. So it needs to be really tight in there. So you're going to put your very warm water in there with your loose tea, and then you're going to leave that there. Put your lid on, and when you're ready, you're just going to push it down very slowly, and then pour it out and drink it. Like I said, we use that Lipton, and this is Lipton. They make loose tea. We didn't take it out of bags. We didn't do anything fancy. It comes in a box like this, obviously a bigger box, and it's wrapped in some wax paper, and we just put it there for convenience, okay? Most teas, you're not supposed to do sunlight, so that was a downfall, but we're good with it. So this is the teaspoon that I showed you before. I treated myself to it many years ago, and I love it. It's just very, very cute. I showed you this in the first video. This is basically to help steeping so that you keep some of the heat in, you keep the condensation in. This is where you put the little string for your tea bag so that it doesn't fall into your cup. Tea balls. This one is for a cup. It obviously fits in there. I do have, which I meant to show you. So this is the one, I showed you the David's tea sample. They came with this when I bought it. You can use any one of these. They're like the Yuddies. But I love these cactuses, and it was a little more expensive than I anticipated, but I really liked it. So if I use it in here, I actually put it in here with a chopstick. I put the chopstick across and put it in a little hole, and it works perfectly. Not gonna lie. This is a big one, so if you didn't want to use the diffuser in there, you could actually put this and hang it from the edge, and it would do the same thing. Obviously, it's going to be off the heat, it's going to be warm water, all of the same stuff the diffuser does. This is a little longer than I thought it was going to be. So, we're going to use my poo cup. Now, just like coffee, it's going to stain. It's okay. It's still a very cute cup, but I want to show you this. So this is actually this filter. You'll see it has a little bottom. So I bought it when I bought this little pot because I didn't know that it actually had a strainer in it. So these, you find these at restaurants when you order hot tea, and they're so cute, and that's basically why we have it. But yeah, so I haven't used this one. Still in the plastic. And as you can see here, it's just a little base so that it doesn't go everywhere. So these, there's a company, it's on the eastern coast. It's not on the coast, but it's in the eastern part of the country. They make these in ceramic. So they're beautiful. You can actually buy the 2-tiered one that you can do your coffee, you can brew coffee and tea and all of that in. A little expensive for me and I just can't justify it right now. But they also make strainers that are just like this. They fit on your cup. So there are ones on the market that actually these sides will pull out. So if you're using a bigger cup or you're using a pot or you're doing something else, or if you wanted to put it over your kettle, you could do that. But it's just simply a strainer. So this one, oops, I forgot to put it back together before I refilmed this because my phone ran out and just shut off. But I got this from an old partner and I love it. Same thing. Put your tea in there, put your little lid on, make sure this lid is on, and then you will get to watch this little guy float around while it infuses your tea. It's very cool. So I encourage you, I think this was $10. If you like tea, experiment with it, find some stuff. There's so many really cool things about tea. Let me talk about some sweeteners real quick, because this is an area of contention, okay? So this is a honey. I showed you my honey stash in the last video. I'm not sure which honey is in this right now, probably Nature Nate's. It took me a few times to figure it out. Make sure you put your finger over that hole at the bottom because that whole middle stick comes out and then you have honey everywhere. I learned that the hard way. Anyway, so it is, you can put anything in here. Maple syrup, pancake syrup, you know, anything you want. Just push down on this, let it go over when you let go, and then this will catch whatever's left. That simple. We also have a little sugar bowl. It holds, I think, like 2 cups of sugar. It's just convenience for us. So I have a spoon back here. Right now it has a little bit of sugar on it because I put some for, I think it was to feed bees. I don't remember. Anyway, but I didn't want to get it wet because I'm going to be using it. And you know, sugar and water don't mix. So every time I use it, I rinse it, put it back in the little dish, and we wash that every week or two if it gets nasty, anything to that extent. So stevia. I don't have any right now because I do not like it. Some people will tell you that if you buy very quality stevia, you don't get the aftertaste. Some people, I just don't like it, okay? So we stick with honey, sugar. I do like monk fruit. I bought this to try it. It's not my favorite. I like sugar, but I like it. It's not a bad alternative to sugar. It is a little fruity, and that grapefruit looking thing, it is a little bit towards that flavor profile. Okay, so Swerve. I actually bought this for a friend and decided to buy myself some, and I meant to give her this. I pulled this out of the same cabinet my sugar is in. It is hard as a rock. It was cool, it was dry, and it was in a bin that was closed, and it is hard as a rock, okay? So they're going to tell you erythritol is natural. Yes, it is. Okay, look it up. It is. It can give you diarrhea. My problem with it is when you turn this over, it tells you it comes from fruit. But it doesn't tell you which one. So that is how companies notoriously can use lower quality. They can use stuff that you wouldn't necessarily eat, and I have a problem with that. This is also very chemically heavy. They have to use chemicals to get this to where it is, because these are made from sugar. All right, this sugar that is boiled down from a cane, and people were making big statements about how bad it is for your health, comes from a plant. We know what plant it comes from. It comes from a sugar cane. This one comes from a whole bunch of stuff, and they have to do a whole bunch of stuff, okay? So it doesn't matter if this is a natural product, all right? This also can kill your dog. Do not ever, ever, ever give your dog anything with erythritol, okay? I am getting real close to way over where I wanted to be, so let me talk about why. I see a fruit on here. I don't see a fruit on here. it says that it is derived from multiple fruits. Tell me which one. Tell me why. I want to know. Okay? Just because somebody tells you sugar is bad, we know where it comes from. We know this comes from monk fruit. We know that comes from a bee, right? Bees make honey. They vomit it. If you didn't know that, that might be a big shock to you. So, natural. My opinion. Don't care. I will not respond to comments about it. That is my opinion, and it's something for you to think about. So please do that. Please try tea. Go into these shops. Talk to these people. That's why they have the shops. They are experts. And they would love to help you find something that you will like. I've been in there once, and they get very excited. But I'd like to visit some more tea shops. So that's your goal today, is to find something you want to try and just go do it.